Okay, what I'm going to do here is go ahead and show you what I'm talking about where it concerns beam profile and angle. Now, the beam profile out of a LIDAR gun is much larger than what I'm about to show you. Basically, I'm going to be using this, a little dollar store laser. Now, this thing is actually collimated pretty well compared to the rather large beam profile that comes out of a LIDAR gun. But the problem here is that when a police officer is firing a laser into a mirror, he's going to run into these same issues, plus the fact that it's not a first surface mirror, which I'll explain here shortly. So, what happens when you fire a laser straight on at your target? Well, that's pretty easy to see. We'll simply do that. It resolves into a nice point. But what happens when you fire it at an angle? I'm going to go ahead and show you this in real time here. A point suddenly becomes an oval. That's right. Now that oval is going to expand out away from the vehicle. And this is not a very severe angle at all. Okay? That oval is going to expand out as an oval, making that beam profile larger and larger. And if he's firing across multiple lanes of traffic, that is going to mean that, well, quite simply, he's not going to be able to say that he could target your car specifically. Because at the ranges that these guns can work at, that is not going to be acceptable. That oval is going to expand further and further out, and it's going to change the entire dynamics as to whether or not he can honestly say, I only picked out that car out of the crowd. That's the problem, and this is why you don't, again, straight on shot. Oh my god! Oh my god! Old laser pointer! Oh my god! Okay, there it is. So, if he's firing into a mirror, well, that's going to cause the same problem because the beam has a width and a height, and by changing the angle of attack, he's now stretching that bugger out. That stretched out profile will be fired out into the world and will hit whatever it's going to hit. And there's no way to determine whether or not he's actually striking just your car. This would be especially truthful of, again, multiple lanes of traffic. He's sitting there all nice and comfy and warm, firing out the window, or firing into his rearview mirror, and he's creating this beam profile. Okay? You change the beam profile on a laser, you change its characteristics and what it's going to touch when it finally reaches its destination. They love to say, laser LIDAR guns are absolutely accurate and cannot be challenged in court. They sure as hell can be challenged in court if they're not on a point, but it created a situation where the beam profile has completely changed and is now covering several lanes of traffic. It's bullshit. They can't do that because that would be obviously they're making their gun more and more inaccurate the farther out it goes. But I got something else to show you. Something even more fun. Let's go outside into the dark! Ah, the dark. I like the dark. Now I'm going to have to turn the light off on this. But here's a very important part you need to understand. If he's shooting into his passenger side mirror, okay, you may have a similar mirror on your car, and most police officers are going to have the same passenger side mirror, which is a convex mirror. You may have seen at the bottom things are closer than they may appear. Well, that's a convex mirror. That is going to really change the beam profile into something completely unusable. I'm going to do this at short range and show you the difference, just at short range, what it does to the point. I'm just going to go straight in, straight out to the point by firing it into a convex surface. So let's go ahead and do that. But first, we got to turn the light off. There we are. Now then, at short range, this is what the beam profile looks like. There we go. At short range, this is my beam profile. Right there. Okay? This is firing directly into the white surface I fired before. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you what happens to the beam profile if I can get it with the right angle there. Where are you? You'll have to forgive me here. I'm in the rain doing this. Okay, I think I got it there. There she is. Now I want to shoot a look at that beam profile. It's huge. I think I'll do this even better this way. Beam profile onto the ground. Okay, this is firing a point of light directly to the ground. Doing the same thing with this yields us that little line. The convex form of the passenger side mirror completely changes the beam profile, and it makes it wider as well as longer because of the way it's set. I mean, basically, you're firing into something that is spreading that laser out versus, I'm going to see if I can't get a point here, see if it's possible to get a point here. But I think you guys see the point I'm making. Firing into a convex-shaped mirror, namely the passenger side mirror here. Let's see if we can get this back lined up. Creates a completely different beam profile. This is no longer a question of needing scientists and engineers and everything. You could do this in court. Have yourself a little handheld mirror and say, look at the beam profile. It changes. It gets wider. So there you go, folks. Hope you enjoy. Junkyard Messiah out, trying to save the world one car at a time.